I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Thank you. Dua Lipa, everybody, Hotter Than Hell is available now.
These buildings are really big. I just performed on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. I was petrified before going on stage. When I went on stage, it was like everything was gone. Yeah, that was such a crazy experience. God. I went and I hugged Jimmy so hard. Dua is my first name and Lipa is my surname.
So this is a big day for you?
It's a very big day for me. As you can tell by the massive smile on my face, my cheeks hurt.
Why don't you talk about it, actually? Tell me what you're doing today.
So I'm doing my very first American TV debut on Jimmy Fallon, on The Tonight Show. I've done quite a few TV shows, like around Europe, but it's my first one in America.
You have an unusual background because your father is a big pop star in Kosovo.
My father is a musician and I feel like our voices are quite similar.
I love the huskiness of your voice. Have you always had that?
I have. I guess it's something that I've been gifted in a way. I'd like to think sometimes maybe deep, like Toni Braxton deep, but I wouldn't say I could kill those high notes like her.
People I don't think of Kosovo and Toni Braxton in the same sentence.
Yeah.
But
It's weird, but it was something that I really loved, and I loved singing her songs. And when the opportunity kind of arose to sing someone else's song in a school concert, I kind of went for that, as well as Alicia Keys' No One. That was also one of my favourite songs to perform. So. I had no idea that doing this on like a global scale was even possible. Like you'd see pop stars on TV like Pink and Nelly Furtado. There was kind of like a no boundaries kind of thing. I feel like they didn't want to sugarcoat the truth. Everything was very honest in a way. There was a realness behind it and something that I really identified with and I wanted my music to be like. And I would listen to them and be like, oh, I want to do exactly what they're doing. It seemed like fairy tales to me. You know, it's just something that just wasn't possible. Just didn't think it was real. When I decided to take my own future into my own hands, I said to myself that if I don't give myself a plan B, then there's no way I would ever see myself doing anything else.
I mean, do you feel that artists should have a plan B if they really want to succeed, or that they
I think they shouldn't have a plan B. Just because you're then 100% focused on that one goal. And for me at the time, it was just posting covers up online.
On YouTube, you were using YouTube.
So I was using YouTube to just post loads of covers up online of like songs that I loved, and it was, I guess it kind of ranged. I had songs on there like Super Duper Love by Joss Stone to Ain't No Other Man by Christina Aguilera. Yeah.
Why did you start doing that?
Well, I guess I felt like I had something to show people when I wanted to tell them that that's what I wanted to do. Because I knew I wanted to sing and I knew I could write. I just didn't know what my genre was. I kept on going into studio sessions being like, oh, I want my songs to sound like Nelly Furtado mixed with J. Cole, and people were just going like, this girl's crazy. How are we supposed to try and like figure this out? And the first song that I wrote, which is also the song that got me signed was Hotter Than Hell.
So actually paint a picture of that for me, from the inception of it until this moment now where you're singing it on Fallon. Give me the history of Hotter Than Hell.
It kind of just started off, it was just like super bare, just piano and a kick drum.
Calls me the devil, I make him wanna sin. Every time I knock, he can help but let me in.
The guy who produced Last Dance was a guy called Koz, and he made this like really cool production that I hadn't heard of, that was still poppy, but there was like hip hop elements to it that I loved so much. And I was like, would you have a go at producing Hotter Than Hell? Because it was just piano and a kick drum, and I just didn't really know where to take it from there. He produced it up, and when I got sent it, I was actually walking around Shoreditch and I get an email. And I'm like, oh my God, it's the production. So I just put the headphones on and I'm walking around East London and I hear it for the first time. And that's when I go, oh shit, this is what I've wanted. This is what, you know, I envisioned to begin with, that I didn't know how to put into words. I feel now that I've worked with so many different people. I know how I like to work. I know how, I find it easiest for myself to get down and write and find that inspiration. And in a way, I feel a tiny bit more experienced, that when I'm in the studio, I know exactly what I want from a session or how I want something to sound. I no longer have to struggle to figure out with references. I feel a tiny bit more grown up in the whole writing process. I love performing and going out and seeing the crowds and seeing the people, sing your songs back to you and the fans and the listeners, and it means so much to me, especially so early on in my career. They're all so lovely. I feel like I've never had more friends. As an artist, I feel like loads of people want to break America. It's like a big deal to be known in like such a large territory of the world. And there's also so much talent and so many artists that are from here that are just so big that everybody goes, that you want to be as big and as successful as some American artists. So for me to be able to have the opportunity to get to perform in front of millions of people in America through The Tonight Show is pretty surreal and crazy to, have this kind of introduction.